In the mid-40s, the human mind was an uncharted territory of immense suffering. As thousands of patients overwhelmed psychiatric asylums with severe anxiety and depression, desperate families looked for any sign of a medical miracle. Into this chaotic void stepped Dr. Walter Freeman, a charismatic and ambitious neurologist who claimed he had discovered a remarkably simple, fast, and permanent cure to turn chaotic minds into calm, manageable citizens. Freeman's revolutionary breakthrough was as terrifyingly simple as it was brutal: the Transorbital lobotomy. Instead of performing expensive, complex brain surgery in an operating room, Freeman utilized an instrument modeled directly after a common kitchen ice pick. Without any formal surgical training, he would slide the sharp steel instrument over the patient's eyeball, reaching the thin layer of bone that separated the eye socket from the frontal lobe. The procedure required no anesthesia, only a series of intense electroshocks to render the patient unconscious. Armed with a heavy rubber mallet, Freeman would strike the end of the steel ice pick, forcing it to violently puncture through the skull bone and enter the brain. Once inside, he would casually sweep the metal instrument back and forth, severing the delicate white matter connections that regulated human emotion, personality, and identity. Desperate to scale his procedure into a mass production marvel, Freeman took his operation on the open road. Driving a customized van that the media quickly dubbed the Lobotomobile, he traveled across state lines, visiting remote asylums and operating on dozens of patients a day. He treated the brutal procedure like a theatrical performance, checking his watch and boasting that he could completely transform a human personality in under 10 minutes. The medical community and desperate families initially celebrated this assembly line surgery as a historic triumph of psychiatric progress. Freeman performed thousands of lobotomies, targeting everyone from hyperactive children to depressed housewives. But behind the promises of instant peace lay a devastating biological reality. The quiet calm he produced was actually the permanent, irreversible destruction of the human soul. The clock continues to tick. The assembly line miracle could not run from the laws of neurology forever. As the initial theatrical excitement faded, the devastating human cost of Freeman's ice pick crusade came crashing to light. The blind sweeping of steel through the frontal lobe was not precise science, it was organic mutilation. Thousands of patients emerged from the specialized van not cured, but completely stripped of their humanity, transformed into drooling, vegetative shells. The mechanism of Freeman's procedure was a brutal gamble with human anatomy. By severing the neural pathways of the prefrontal cortex, he wasn't regulating complex chemical imbalances, he was permanently disconnecting the brain's executive command center. Without these vital tracks, patients lost the ability to plan, feel deep joy, or maintain a unique human identity. The desperate treatment for anxiety had turned into a permanent internal neurological death. By the late 1950s, the horrific scale of the lobotomy epidemic could no longer be covered up by corporate public relations. Asylums across the country were filled with the broken victims of Freeman's road trips. Tragic high-profile failures, such as the catastrophic operation on Rosemary Kennedy, exposed the dark reality to the world. The glamorous pioneer of psychiatric progress was suddenly unmasked as a reckless driver of institutional horror. This era stood as a terrifying monument to absolute medical hubris. Freeman continued to defend his ice pick, driven by absolute arrogance, even as his patients suffered from fatal brain hemorrhages and severe physical decay. The entire mental health industry had been built on a foundation of theatrical speed and systematic mutilation, trading the complex cognitive survival of vulnerable human beings for a fast, quiet, institutional fix. The age of the ice pick lobotomy came to a crashing, unyielding halt as the public and scientific community recoiled in collective horror. It was a dark, unregulated window in history where a single charismatic doctor was allowed to line his pockets and van with the fractured minds of the living. Freeman was stripped of his operating privileges, leaving behind a tragic wake of destroyed brains and a permanent warning carved into medical science. The clock continues to tick. The mid-1950s brought a sudden revolutionary dawn that completely shattered Walter Freeman's ice-pick empire. The dark era of treating psychiatric suffering with structural brain mutilation collapsed overnight with a monumental breakthrough. Chemists discovered the first true antipsychotic compounds. This massive medical milestone proved that the chaotic pathways of the human mind could be successfully regulated through delicate chemical balances rather than brutal physical destruction. With the birth of modern psychopharmacology, the tragic phenomenon of mass lobotomies vanished into a closed historical chapter. Medical textbooks across the globe were aggressively rewritten, placing a permanent global ban on the transorbital procedure. The primitive mallet and steel pick were replaced by precise, targeted molecular treatments designed to restore neural balance. The world was learning a vital lesson. Human identity is a sacred boundary that science must never cross. Today, the specter of Freeman's Lobotomobile is locked away behind an unyielding fortress of modern psychiatric safety protocols. Contemporary medicine utilizes high-precision imaging and strict ethical boards to guarantee human rights. From advanced chemical synthesis to standardized clinical trials, every single neuromedication must survive years of brutal safety screening before it can ever touch a patient. The ghost of the theater-style operation has been completely contained. Inside contemporary neuroscience laboratories, the environment is immaculate, white, and systematically controlled. Advanced biosensors and chemical analyzers monitor molecular structures with absolute geometric accuracy. We no longer trade our emotional sanity for a primitive, life-shattering puncture. We rely on rigorous, evidence-based science to safely protect the mind. Every clean, regulated treatment stands as a tribute to the patients who paid the price of a dark era. The true price of our modern mental health sanctuaries was paid in the silent tremors and stolen identities of the past. We walked through the suffocating green walls of old asylums and the dark, reckless highway journeys of the Lobotomobile to build this era of pristine medical security. The madness of the ice pick has finally ended, leaving an eternal warning etched into the progress of mankind. Medicine means nothing if it destroys the soul. The clock has stopped. Thank you for traveling back to this dark era with us. What part of medical history shocked you the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and share it with other history lovers. This was Morbid Medicine, and we will see you in our next Dark Archive.